All right. I mean, I have a lot to say about the $500 million for Star Citizen. I actually don't have a lot to say. But there is a video from ObsidianAnt that is titled Star Citizen $500 million. Where does it go next? So I figured, what a better kind of situation to share my opinions as well as hear another creator's opinions on the subject. So here is ObsidianAnt on $500 million, $500 million for Star Citizen.
$100 billion.
Oh,
Not
I
quite
can't switch the scene.
$100 billion,
Hold on. There we go.
but $500 million. It's an amount of money that is hard to comprehend. Yet Star Citizen's funding tracker has just crossed that threshold. It's a huge step for the game, which entered its crowdfunding phase nearly 10 years ago. The behemoth Chris Roberts project stands as two separate games. The online persistent universe of Star Citizen and the still in development and largely ultra-secret Squadron 42. Starring Mark Hamill, Gillian Anderson, Gary Oldman, and many more. Now, an update video like this one is always going to attract some controversy. Firstly, because obviously crowdfunding a project to the tune of $500 million is going to gain a lot of attention and raise some questions. Secondly, because people like to talk about Star Citizen's funding. But whether some people feel this is a clickbait video or a chance to cash in on a larger topic,
I mean, listen, Obsidian, we're cashing in on the topic. Like, come on, you're a YouTuber. It's a great YouTube video because you're going to cash in on the topic. It's not just about money, and it's not just talking about it because you're going to cash in on the topic, but it's you're going to cash in on the conversation that it'll bring. It is a polarizing topic. People feel one way and they feel another, and they really feel compelled to talk about it. That makes a good YouTube video. And that's what I mean by cashing in.
The truth remains that
$500 million
is a major milestone for the project, and it would be completely remiss of me to allow the moment to pass by without talking about it. Right now then, Star Citizen exists as an alpha release, or to be perfectly fair, to all intents and purposes, it is an early access title. The current topics of interest are the game's next big update, patch 3.18. This will include the first step towards making the game truly persistent. The persistent entity streaming technology being developed by CIG is all about creating an environment that is both dynamic and static. That is to say, any objects that a player places within the game will remain in the game, regardless of how small and how seemingly inconsequential those objects are. The latest update from CIG on persistent entity streaming, though, suggests it may not quite work as well as people are hoping, at least not for the initial release. There's some discussion about just how persistent the update will be across various servers, or so-called shards. Now, also, in terms of upcoming content, the long-awaited salvaging is also on the way. Now, taking ships apart might not seem like...
I'm actually pretty hyped for the salvage thing now. I didn't think I would be, but what I think is really cool about hull stripping is, well, it's what you do after you salvage something, right? So you would go through the ship, you would pick it dry, and then if you wanted to like min-max essentially or get the most out of it, you would strip its hull. And yeah, I really didn't think I was going to be too keen about it, but the more I think about it and the more I've seen what they've put out there, the more interesting it looks. I just don't think it's going to be like a viable thing to do in the game. You're not going to feel the need or the want to do it, right? So, yeah.
Like a big deal to some people.
Because the economy doesn't really push it.
Players, it's a highly desired feature. Not least because CIG have long ago announced ships for the as yet non-implemented feature. So salvaging, also potentially a part of patch 3.18. Of course, the most anticipated new feature for Star Citizen though is the new star system of Pyro, along with all its planets, mission types, and other gameplay loops.
And to be clear, so I see it because I see it in chat, the plan in the future is to be able to salvage components and things like that, of course. But now he's talking about Pyro. Okay.
Not too long ago, people were hoping that this might arrive at the end of 2022. But now, according to CIG's very own progress tracker, it looks as though Pyro will not arrive before mid-2023 at the very earliest.
Yeah, no chance.
And with the later half of 2023 being potentially likely. As you can see then, Star Citizen remains a game that exists in a unique twilight zone. It is a game with a strong following thanks to not only its promises, development insights and regular updates, yet paradoxically it's a title that, to all intents and purposes, appears to be in never-ending development, with highly anticipated feature updates constantly over the horizons, forever either late this year or maybe sometime next year. Star Citizen is a paradox, an enigma, a game of huge ambition and success, and a game...
It's a game that's just doing it differently. I'll definitely be making a video around the GTA 6 leak, because it is incredibly telling of how games are actually made versus how Star Citizen is made. And there's some damn good reasons why we're 10 years in, $500 million, and the game is in the state that it's in.
Quite unlike anything else out there, with lofty goals and much already released amazing technology. Just look at those planets and ships. But for many outsiders, cynics, and dare I say it, even proclaimed realists, it's a game that is believed may never truly release, and one that some believe might not ever achieve its ambitions, viewed then by some people as a vast money sink. Maybe then, both sides of this story have some truth to them. Whilst many people could be placed in one camp or perhaps the other based upon their views, it maybe makes more sense to feel that yes, Star Citizen possibly is a vast money pit. On the one hand, it could be seen as a project with closed-door development. After all,
I don't think you can determine right now whether Star Citizen is a money pit, but it certainly has been up to this point. If they deliver a product that is enjoyable, playable, something that people really like, then however much money was spent on it doesn't matter. At this point, if you even look at it as a business and a success and all sorts of things like that, the people at the top, the executives at the company, have been getting paid the entire time, right? So they don't get paid whether, they're not like, I don't think they're in a situation where they're working on commission. You know what I mean? So like if the game's development costs a lot of money, their salaries are part of it. So everybody wins if Star Citizen delivers a certain product. They don't have to have $500 million in development and then have to make an additional $500 million to make up for that, right? It's been going along as it's been going. So whatever money they make after release is just bonus, probably, it seems like to me. So yeah, in general, the idea of it being a money pit, I just don't buy it. And as a absolute, it probably has been up to this point. $500 million, most of that money has been spent over the last 10 years. And the product that we have, I would imagine most people out there would consider not up to standard.
Where is Squadron 42? When will it be released? Where are the videos on development progress? They don't
But we
exist.
haven't seen Squadron,
all we know is what
so we
Chris
don't know.
Roberts has told us. Effectively, it will be done when it's done. Time and money don't seem to be a hindrance or a motivator. Meanwhile, for Star Citizen, important tech such as persistent entity streaming, server meshing, and huge updates such as Pyro never seem to materialize, despite being announced many years ago, some of it as far back as 2016 in fact, along with the occasional vague release dates. They still have not been released and appear to regularly slip to some future date. Sure, they do appear to be getting closer, with some of it arriving maybe within the next few months, but even still, that point still stands.
It does.
However, with all that said, it would be a complete lie to say that Star Citizen isn't ambitious. It is ambitious. It would also be a lie to say that the project doesn't have amazing development insight.
What does that even mean?
Amazing development insight. Regular videos, live streams, updates, trackers, and more give a constant view into what is being worked on. Additionally, the title receives plenty of ongoing updates. What's sure, these updates often come with problems. What game updates don't, right?
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's not hard to see why Star Citizen is both praised as a huge success and a source of never-ending controversy and cynicism. 10 years since its announcement, and $500 million later, there is literally nothing else neither inside nor outside the gaming industry that compares. The only wonder is that for the most part, attention on this project remains firmly within the realms of gaming. Sure, there's the occasional mainstream media piece, but as yet, it still really hasn't captured the wider imagination nor attention of mainstreaming people, the public, or indeed anything outside of gaming.
Well, I mean, what games do? Like, I think that that's kind of a weird statement from him. How many games reach outside of outside to the mainstream that like your aunt would know? Fortnite and probably World of Warcraft, right? Like, does Battlefield reach outside? Minecraft's another one, right? Maybe Call of Duty. These are the biggest games ever. Grand Theft Auto, because of parenting issues with that game, right? So there's things that reach beyond the scope of the gaming world, but very few games get that far. This game is pretty niche, and I imagine it will never reach outside of the gaming community, irregardless of the cost of it, right? It may reach some, I don't know, like investing type of things and stuff like that, but that's as far as it'll go. What's up, Jake? Me too.
Maybe $500 million then will be the moment that starts to happen. Or just maybe it will take $1 billion for that to happen. That then brings us to the end of this video. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.
All right, so I'm going to take this moment to insert my opinion on the whole $500 million thing, and it is pretty simple. I don't care. I don't care how much money a video game company makes. I don't care. Why would I celebrate something that has nothing to do with me? It means nothing. Why would I celebrate a game, a company making money? I will celebrate rewards that mean something to me, that matter to me. 3.0, celebrated, right? 3.15 with, adding actual tangible gameplay in the game. Celebrated that. Even PES, celebrating it. It is a big deal, irregardless of matchmaking. The big thing about matchmaking is it's not some tech that they have to invent. It's a thing that's like known, right? Matchmaking is a thing. It's not persistent entity streaming. It's not dynamic server meshing. It's not these things that they have to kind of pull out of thin air. It's a common thing that's in every game. So there's probably some common practices for it, right? The things that I celebrate will be tangible things that I can feel in the video game. I can't feel that the company made $500 million, $400 million, $300 million. It doesn't matter. It's what's on my computer. And if the thing on my computer is fun and cool and new and exciting, I'll celebrate it. That's my feeling on $500 million. My other feeling is the more money this game makes, the higher the expectations go up. If this is a $1 billion game, do you think it will ever be able to live up to anybody's standards? A $500 million game. They're using the B word to make it sound more sensational, right? It will never live up to anybody's standards. The more it goes, the more difficult it gets to live up to the standard of its funding. And that's obviously just an optics thing, but I'm not going to celebrate any of that stuff. I am just going to celebrate in-game achievements and enjoy the game as is. But that will be it for the $500 million video. Thank you, ObsidianAnt. I'll link the video in the description as well as in Twitch chat right now. And yeah, if you guys want to talk about it, the best places to do that are here on Twitch with me or on our Discord. Discord.gg/SaltEMike or Twitch.tv/SaltEMike. So make sure you guys hit those up. And if you're new here to SaltEMike 2, make sure you hit the subscribe button for more videos like this. And yeah, feel free to leave a comment below on YouTube as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.